might as well fight with that too, we're attacking me yesterday.
All right, everybody ready to get started here? Everybody got their phones turned on? Before meeting to the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Darrell?
Martyr,
Here.
Mazer,
Here.
Schneider,
Here.
Sofa, absent, Wilson,
Here.
Weaver, Zimmer.
Here.
I make a motion to excuse the absence of Jason.
Support.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa, absent, Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes. All right, next up, non-agenda items from the sidelines. Miss Wheeler?
Hello. I think my daughter, hold on. Yeah, she lives on, I told you guys if I don't forget, we're next to the youth center, and she's lived there for 34 years. At one time, I don't know the band, they said that she was, promised a road, there was that road there, the wire, and she was promised, what, extra, what, 25 feet?
10 feet, and then it was added on, and they were gonna split it down the middle. And it was supposed to be all taken care of. They asked if I wanted that big thing in the back taken down, you know, that blockage. And I didn't hear anything back. And so I just wanted to check into this, what's going on. It's been a long time.
As of right now, we haven't done anything. It's one of those, we have to have our tax person take a look into this and what the costs associated with it might be and the lost funds that might come from Macomb County for abandoning the road. So I don't have any answers
You
for
know,
you.
it kind of is abandoned right now. It's just nothing that's really done.
But it hasn't been abandoned by the city.
By the city yet, because, you know, it's just
Right.
grass
And
growing in.
there's also Oak Street, which has not been abandoned yet.
And that
either.
just, you know, hopefully, I had, you know, when they plowed it, they piled it all on the property, and I had to pick, it took me
I
3.5
understand that.
hours, and, you know, I'm taking care of all that property next door.
We
Yeah.
looked at that, I think, a few
That's
years ago,
horrible.
and our assessor said it has to go through the court system, and I was looking into it, but,
So
and
they-
and so I dropped it, because going through the courts and everything, I just didn't
Yeah.
wanna go through
They
that.
said it was.
But I think they're kinda looking at that again to see just what.
We can have Amber look into it again and
Yeah.
revisit it again, you know, now that we have a different person in
Yeah.
charge of our
They
taxes.
said-
It would affect the, somewhat of the taxes we collect, because we do collect taxes from Macomb County. I know that'd be,
No, it would affect
Yeah.
our maintenance
Yeah.
money that we get for our roads.
pardon?
I think it would affect the maintenance money that we get for our
Yeah.
roads.
It would
But Bart,
local streets, I don't know.
but Bart wasn't sure.
Yeah, I don't know what effect it was, but
It's just.
I know the state contacted Bart because,
It's a platted road. It's on the map for the city.
Yeah, but I was promised 10 feet because they gave 10 feet to the previous owner before, Mike Siska. They had given 10 feet, they said, you're always gonna get that 10 feet, and that's so.
Right, and that was a few administrations back, and whether that was done legally or not was all in.
Well, it was never abandoned.
the road was never
The
abandoned.
road was never
But they
abandoned.
gave the automatic, the 10 feet to the people next door. That was given to them.
I'll make a motion to give you split the road down the middle right now, if everybody will vote for it.
Well, I don't care
think
about
it's-
the
I think it's
road.
too late. You know, let's just
Will
do
that
it.
have to be resurveyed and everything?
I think.
We know where the middle of the road is. I can go out there and show where it is.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I mean, we have to.
I'll do all those roads.
I think we should do that.
We just abandon them all.
We should
I'm
do
talking
that.
about the property.
I mean, the road next to
The
Jason's house
description on the
has a
deed.
gigantic tree in the middle of it.
I know.
The description on the deed is what I mean, that
Yeah.
all has to be changed.
The question is whether we lose some of the funding for our roads. I can't imagine it's very
Right,
much.
let's just say,
No,
we,
just-
you know,
it's really
let's look
not-
at Oak Street, let's look at McGuire. We'll have Amber maybe take some time to look into what the implications are, and what we need to do to look into. If we're gonna do one, let's do them both. You know, see if we're gonna lose funding on maintenance of the roads, because I know our DPW was contacted by the county, because that's probably why it got plowed, because he was contacted saying, hey, you're not maintaining the road. So, they, you know, they do the Google map thing and they look at it and go, hey, look at it, it has been plowed.
It was all rocks and.
I
you know, and
understand.
grass. It was,
I
but it's
understand
grass,
what you're doing.
basically
Yeah.
grass.
Yeah, so I guess this is, you know, it's one of those things we'll put on our list of things to
I really
do,
appreciate
okay?
it.
Yeah, so she's been maintaining it for 34 years.
I
so-
understand, I mean, I have a section of lawn that's on the other side of my sidewalk from between
Right.
Pratt in my yard that
Right.
I've maintained
So
for
where
the
does the
last
money be in
23
the fund?
years,
Yeah.
and I haven't asked for it,
Right.
but I just maintain it.
Right, yeah, then my question is, what if you're getting money from the county to maintain the road and she's been maintaining it and they only plow it one time? I don't understand where your money losing if you're getting money that you're not even using from the county since she's been.
And again, I couldn't tell you what kind of funds they do and generate, so
Right, so
we'll
it can't
look
be a
into
lot.
it, okay?
So you're gonna
I
give this to
appreciate it.
Amber to look into? Good.
Yep.
So can we get some feedback next meeting?
She's off this, oh, next meeting, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, just so that we don't, so we have a
Yep.
target date that we'll try to get
Yeah,
some information
appreciate
back to
that.
you.
Yeah, I
Within a
appreciate
month.
it.
Okay, that'd be fine. And
Thank
when's the
you.
next meeting?
First Tuesday.
First Tuesday, okay, thanks.
Comments from city administration, Doug?
A week ago, we had a demonstrator fire engine stop by the hall for us to look at. Liked some stuff about it.
Did you do a little drooling?
We drooled some, yeah, it was nice and shiny. That's a quick way to drop $450,000 on a pretty basic engine. Only other thing, I'd like to get together with the fire committee sometime soon, discuss not only that, but another issue that we have. So if we could arrange that sometime. That's it. Oh, I'm still out of service too. It's getting there, but.
Okay. Judy?
Yep, we have lots going on. So, we still have music in the park tomorrow, and then the next, Wednesday after that's the last one. And tomorrow's a good one too, 3-piece at 7 o'clock at the Lions. Senior lunch is August 11th, we have a speaker for that, she's gonna talk about herbs. I posted an outing for a movie and a play, Hello Dolly, in St. Clair at the new theater. Put it on Facebook, and by night it was booked. I could only,
Very good.
12 people can fit in that little bus. But anyway, 12 people contacted me, and so we were booked in that one day. And Canasta is still every other Friday, not this Friday because of Memphis days, but from the 18th, and then every other, if anyone's interested, 10 a.m. at the Lions. And that's it.
Thank you. Yeah, we don't have anything else here from the city. Next up, amendment of the agenda. We got some changes. Where?
Yeah, we had, I think 3 under communications. Number 1 would be the Historical Society, and number 2 would be Sage Creek on the dog rescue. And under new business, number 2 would be Antera, that's their garbage pickup, and number 3 would be library windows. No further changes. I make a motion we adopt the agenda as amended.
Support.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa, absent Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
All right, next up, approval of the regular meeting minutes of July 11th and the special meeting of July 17th, 2023. Can I get a motion unless there's some changes?
I'll move to approve the minutes from July 11th special meeting, or the regular meeting, and the special meeting of July 17th.
Support.
Sofa, absent Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
All right, next up, presentation approval of the July disbursements report of $287,929.73 and the electronic wire transfers of $12,096.32.
Just a couple quick questions, just for my explanation, I'm just digging in it. I see a lot of categories we have for bonding. Is that like a yearly?
For what?
Insurance and bonds, see it's in different departments.
Yes,
Is that
this
the-
is
is that
July,
yearly
it's the
expense?
beginning of our fiscal year, so we pay all that stuff
So
then.
that's why
Yeah.
that expense is there. And also like contracted services, I saw a couple of those One was in the police agency and one was the other, but they were $2,472 is curious what those contractor services are.
Hang on, it should tell us on this one,
We've got a lot of big ones this time, beginning of the year.
$2,400 you said?
Yes, kind of cut off a C3 Inc. I can't see the first letter there, maybe it's D, I'm not sure.
VC3.
DC3 Inc.
DC3, ooh,
I
I
think
don't know what that is.
One on fire department too, I'm not sure if that was here too. There were at least two, so I was just, again, just curious, because something.
The fire department one, I can tell you. That's what we get charged every year to use the software to do all our reports and submit them.
Right, that was a.
That's the
previous item.
VC3?
No, that's down under fire department, ESO solutions.
You got a VC3 too, right?
VC3 is our, what do you call it?
Software
Our-
support and,
Yeah, technical support on the
Right.
computers for the whole thing, and that's part of their annual contract we pay.
right, I think there was two of them to them, one for the fire
Those types
department,
of-
one for us.
Basically tech support now, is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was two big tech support checks that I know I signed today. And that's, again, that's the renewal, there's a lot of big stuff that went out, this month. Because of so it's the beginning of the fiscal year, so
Yeah, it's those are the only
No
questions
problem.
I had.
if there's any other questions, I'll take a motion.
We're gonna make a motion to approve the July disbursements report, 287,99.73. That's my July transfer of 12,096.42.
I'll support it.
Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Murder,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa absent.
All right. Next up, communications. Can I get a motion to put communications on file, please?
Make that motion.
Four.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Murder,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa absent, Wilson.
Yes.
All right, first up, addressing the city council, the Memphis Historical Society would like permission to add home of the thing or a likeness of the thing to the there's only two welcome to Memphis signs, southwest and east of town. Okay, yeah, there is three. Wait, west and east. There's one in the north, okay. The sign in the north disappeared a while back when they started finding the chunk of property that the sign was on. So anyways, it would add a line to the signs. The cost of the addition would be paid by the Historical Society, but may need assistance of the city workers to install this. From Ruth Sulkowski, member of the Historical Society. Any thoughts?
Does anyone know what the thing is?
Oh,
Right
it's right there.
Right there.
That's a club mobile.
Oh,
Steam powered first
Yeah.
automobile,
First recorded automobile in the state of Michigan.
And that's why
And/or maybe
they
the
want to
country.
inform people, that's why they want to do it.
Yeah. They
Yeah, it's a
want to
picture of
buy
the
the
sign.
Oh,
sign,
is that
and
city
the
sign?
son
High
No,
school students.
made a
That's what I thought.
this,
car,
They
they made it in 1884 and 1885. And that, we don't have a picture of it, but that's a kind of a model that Richard Hess and I did a lot of research and put that together, so that's what they want to put down on the signs.
and the thing is, the signs were not installed by the city. I think that was probably 25 years ago. It was a high school shop project, wasn't it? To put those signs up. And, I mean, we don't do anything to per se maintain them, but I don't really see a reason why they couldn't add another board to the bottom of it.
I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
Can I ask a question?
Certainly.
There is another sign for the north side. Last couple of years, the chamber was trying to get that sign reinstalled on the north side. It's at the school.
Oh, did they take, when they took it out, they took it to the school?
Yeah, so
Okay,
they,
'cause I know that it
they
was-
do have it, but
Yeah.
we couldn't find out who owns that field in order to get it put back up.
Right, because I know it was Christensen's were finding the field, and Bobby had actually contacted me about taking the sign out, and I gave him that because it's not the city's property, so. If we still have the other sign, if we find somebody that would wanna, plant it back in the ground again, maybe closer to Z's or something like that, maybe they'll go for it, but. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the historical society to put the, Playmobil on the thing's what they kinda called it back then.
Yep.
Yeah, so, there is another sign that, John Patnato, I think,
Maybe they come up with something that's gonna say the thing, or the Clegmobile,
Yeah.
also was a
Yeah.
thing, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and I see this here is kind of replica of that
Right.
model there. So I'll make that motion.
Support. Do we have to, and to allow the DPW to help install it? That's probably not big really. Have control of.
I'm not sure, I don't know. It's like if we find the other one, maybe we can find some other volunteers to help along with it. Yeah, or the DPW if they can assist, if they have time between the roads and everything else that's going on.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Murder,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa absent, Wilson,
Yeah.
Weaver.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have, Mike Dossie from Sage Creek Winery sent us a letter. They're looking to do another dog rescue event, as they've done several times. This one is gonna be for Sunday, October 1st, 2023. They've got all their paperwork, and this is something, I mean, we just did this not too long ago, earlier this year. It's kind of gonna be a do-over again. Anybody have any other thoughts?
I'll make a motion to allow it.
Support.
Carter,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa absent, Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Okay. No more communications, right? Moving on to unfinished business. Adoption of ordinance number 219, an ordinance amending Title 15, Chapter 150, completely amending and restating Section 150.012 regarding resolution, or regulations of marijuana establishments as provided herein. So this is combined kind of what, we've got it all updated, it's time to move on and get it put into order.
Yeah, we introduced that at the last council meeting.
Correct.
This will finalize the changes, so I make a motion to adopt the ordinance 219.
Support.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa absent, Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Murder.
Yes. All right, up under new business, Air Advantage, wanting to lease a spot on our water tower again. This is a renewal, it's at $400 a month for using the tower for an antenna. I don't know if anybody read the whole contract over or not, but we have everything, again, it's a renewal. So could I get a motion?
I'll make that motion to approve the lease agreement.
Support.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa absent, Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Murder,
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
Okay, up under new business, number 2. MTerra, our refuse pickup people, there's been a lot of complaints, and I saw a lot of it myself,
If
with
anybody wants to see the
broken glass throughout town, and it was basically with their recycling truck when they picked up. I know that I had myself, the neighbor, and the neighbors across the road, there was glass all over the road. And I know it was from when they picked mine up, because it was one of those, it was a bottle that had been in my trash, and then it was smashed on the road in front of my house. It was broken up small, how they do that and end up dumping it on the road, I don't know. but there were small pieces of glass up and down the road on both sides of M19. I had somebody send me photos from at least 5 locations throughout the city with glass all over, and I'm sure there's probably a lot more. This is not the first time it's happened with the recycling truck.
I saw it.
In their agreement, they should not have a truck that per se leaks, but this seems to be a reoccurring issue. There's been issues with complaints about the fact that they're not using a recycling truck to pick up the recycling, that they're coming around with a regular truck. I don't know if they're going out and emptying the truck before they come and pick up the recycling, but it's not the same recycling truck that they had prior. So I don't know if they're short a truck, whatever it is, but our agreement with them is per se recycling on a clean basis. We make sure that we empty out our containers and we rinse stuff so that it goes to the recycling center in a state that it can be recycled and it's being put into a regular truck. So it's one of those, Terra's been approached by us before, we've had conversations, and it gets corrected for a while, and now it's reoccurring again. At this point in time, I don't know if we want to set up another meeting with Terra. In the past, when this was an issue, we're looking at separating ourselves from them and breaking the contract because they're not keeping the end of the bargain. So I don't know what way this council wants to go. I'm open for comments.
And can I just say something? And when we call there, Dan Garman, he won't even answer his phone.
I called 2 different contact numbers. Nobody responded to my calls. They didn't answer, and I didn't get a call back. So
Yearly contract, Kurt?
Pardon?
Yearly contract?
No, it's a 5-year
It's
contract.
It's 5-year contract. I think we're about 3 years into it now.
I think it's 25.
I think it's 25 too.
Okay.
2025.
What's the recourse if we break it?
Possible lawsuit.
Yeah, it would probably be a lawsuit.
Are there any terms in the contract that we can review to make it a little easier for us? Like terms of the contract that we can confirm that they're breaking?
Well, if you'd like to look at the contract, I'm sure that Donna can dig it up for you to look through.
Just
it
curious.
at a time, yeah.
Yeah.
It says no pride trucks that don't leak, I know that.
Because we get glass in our driveway, at the end of our driveway, every 2 weeks. So I go out there every 2 weeks and clean it up. I just know it's there, so I just go and do it. And then I've had people approach me that they don't recycle anymore because it just goes into a trash truck. So why are we separating it? It doesn't make any sense. And I mean, I'd be all for looking at the contract to see if we can break it, because I don't think it has gone well.
No, absolutely not.
At
Are there,
least break the recycling part if we can't break the whole thing.
do we know if there are alternative recycling options though? I think that would be a,
Well,
No.
it would probably be with another trash hauler.
yeah, do we know if there are other,
And then it's terms, conditions, and cost. I mean,
Right.
that's the whole idea is that, Terra got it because they were a good margin below other
Everyone else.
haulers.
Is the glass problem only during the recycle week?
Yep, that's what I've seen anyways.
same,
So that's the issue. Recycle.
yeah.
The last time we bid it, they're the only one that bid, when the contracts came up for renewal, they were the only one that bid on it, but, prior to them, we had Waste Management, and we never had a recycling thing, I don't think, though. We just had the garbage pickup. I do know is there's 2 trucks always come by my house, but I had a complaint the other day on that same issue of them putting it into the regular truck. I don't know where.
So
But I've never had that problem.
So should this go to advisory?
Oh, Alan Francis, I remember, sent a letter to them and he came to that meeting with their attorney. I don't know if we should contact him and ask him what we do next, or?
I think, yeah, we did have a special meeting
Yeah, we did.
with them and their attorney and our attorney back a few years ago, I don't know, a couple years ago maybe. I don't think it would hurt to question our attorney, see what we might be able to do. And we don't want to get ourselves in a bind, but I do know it's a serious problem that's been going on
Yep.
for a long time. So I think we should contact our attorney probably and see
Is the recycling
what
bin
our
out
options
of
are.
out of the question? Is the recycling bin
Was that, Robbie?
a place that we can take our recycling to? Is that out of the question?
It's in the contract now, because we signed it,
Yeah,
but,
it's in.
I know, but if we, well, obviously
right,
if
I
they're
don't
You
know.
mean you personally or the city?
us personal people,
You can take your recycling to,
can you take it out to
St.
Smithfield?
Oh,
County
yeah.
landfill, yeah.
A lot of people would do that before we got this.
Batteries, chemicals.
Yeah, I would see if we can just drop the contract if there that many
Well,
complaints.
we'll contact council and,
See if we can get some direction that maybe
Right.
what we can do. I know we wanted something written into the contract, and when we had that meeting, can't remember just what it was we were requesting, but our attorney tried and he didn't take it far, so we dropped it. But I can't remember what.
I can't remember
Oh,
either,
so
but
you
we,
can go out
But
there?
we wanted something in
You
there
post
that
that?
gave us the,
All
sort of
of
an
us.
option, and of course, they wouldn't go for it, and it's unfortunate that, and of course, it's probably my fault in a way, because I looked at a 5-year contract, and the cost to our residents was less, and so that's kind of, we extended it to 5 years, and now, of course, wish we hadn't done that.
so that it's one of those, is, you know, trying to get somebody to respond and that wants to come out and pick up trash here in the city.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I know that we've had at least 3 or 4 different haulers since I've been here. And again, last time, they're the only ones that even bid it, so
Yeah, so,
kind of narrows your options. Okay, so
but,
we'll take this under advisement, we'll get to contact with our council and see what our next
you
step
want me to
is.
email you that contract?
The recycling is part of the price of the contract, though.
was, it was, yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that's-
all part of the contract.
Yeah, that's part of the
Got the
issue.
charges for that.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it was all part of the contract.
Okay. All right, moving on. The library would like to have new windows. Robbie, do you want to talk about this?
Yes, I would. The library had their, on the community set of windows. And they did get 3 bids to replace the 4 and the 4. It's not touching the front windows at all. They got 3 quotes from Marvin, Wallside, and Anderson. I can,
Okay.
the lowest bid was for Wallside, $22,074.
How much was that again?
$22,074.
And
And that was without going for the lowest bid, that was their choice, so.
we got, Carol talked to me when we were doing, before we did the budget, and she mentioned that they, at that time, they had a bid of 25,000. And we had, we budgeted 20,000, but I said if it goes a little over that, we can still take care of it, so. I don't know which one you're recommending. Wallside seems to be a pretty good company as far as I know.
And that's what they chose to without really thinking
Yeah.
about going for the lowest bid.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have a problem going Wallside. I do think they'd be beneficial. Eric, I think you made a comment that it would,
Oh, they pay for themselves in a few years.
yeah, so I think they'd be benefit. Now, they're not doing the front one, they're just doing the others,
No,
correct?
Or that big door, that double door on the bottom.
So,
Would you be willing to go to 22 to
Yeah.
pull it off?
yeah, and we'll just, we'll make a, we'll make a budget and then there for that extra money.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that, we approve the bid for $22,074 for the 8
I'll support
8
it.
windows for Wellside.
Sofa, absent, Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes,
Schneider.
Yes.
How many ones altogether?
8.
8.
About $27.50 a piece.
Big window. A lot of windows.
They're huge.
Yeah.
Or 84, what is that? 7 feet.
84 inches tall, and about a foot at the top won't be solid.
And then the fact that it's probably all have to be safety glass and,
These are the, here's the explanation on them.
so, We're good, right, we're done? All right, from there, just remember we have the Memphis Festival Days coming up this weekend. Hopefully we see lots of folks out here, and everybody has a good time, lots of yard sales, lots of things going on, parade. Other than that, for me, I have nothing else. Larry?
We've got a couple memos on the grant, and I talked to Gary Bartow today, and they had a general conference meeting, which I couldn't attend because I had another appointment. However, we got an email today that everything is in place except the final signatures, and that they'll be sending that out to Bart, I think probably within a week or so. And we need to sign that, and then the email says it must be signed prior to the project loan closing at September the 8th. Then they will sign it, and then I think everything finally done on that grant. So, and that, of course, I think you all know what we're doing with that. The water meter replacements, generator with the switches, and filter media with the arsenic plant, well pumps, and the service line will be replaced on Lois and Robert Street from 4 to 8 inches, and water mains into the houses that need it on those streets. So that's, I don't think that'll, by the way, according to the memo there too, the first principal payment will be on April 1st, 2025. And it's 20 years at 1.875. And the original grant was $1,420,000, and I think, I'm not sure this was that big, $1,612,000 is what the total is now. And we will have to pick up $192,000.
Yeah, it's one of those, if you look at this, it's like, yes, it's additional, but, you know, it didn't exactly play out the way we wanted it to.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those, if we took something off the table, then the state took more off of the table. So I think it's better to bite the bullet now,
Yeah.
get it done, because down the road, it's not gonna get any cheaper.
No, and I think the two main things, of course, all of them are important, but the backup generator for the water system, I think is very.
We don't need to try and pull in a temporary generator and hook it up, and
Yeah,
it's
and I
better to
think-
have something that's an automatic transfer and.
Yeah. And the second thing that I think is very important is that Robert and Lois Street is replacing those water mains, because if we ever come to want to do those streets, that would have to be done first, and we'd have to pick up the whole shot. So they're picking up 75% of the cost on that. So
Yeah.
I think those are two important things. I wish we could have had the road restoration and that, but the engineering's done for that now. So we could look at that once this project is done, and then also doing those road restorations.
And on road restoration, the other thing too, I just noticed it today, I'm just kind of backing up a little bit. Looks like we're gonna have to do something over here on Union Street when we're done with the construction. I mean, right now, it's turned into a giant hole. That's with all the heavy equipment turning around on it. I mean, it's crumbled up asphalt anyway, so I think we're gonna have to try and bite the bullet or do something when the construction's done, because that's just,
Yeah.
it's really bad right now.
Yeah, there's some issues both there, and I haven't mentioned this before, but I guess might be the time to do it. I received a call from Dave Russian, he's the supervisor, I think.
Supervisor for Riley Township.
No, it's county commissioner.
County commissioner.
He's our commissioner.
Yeah,
Okay.
College Commission, and for St. Clair County. And he contacted me in the winter, and apparently there's about $750,000. And he's currently working with St. Clair County, Riley Township, and us to see if we can't do Bell River Road. It certainly won't be curb and gutter,
No.
that, but I told him that's a major street. I told him we could probably contribute maybe $250,000 toward that. Riley Township will contribute something. There's nothing firm yet, but it may happen. But I did mention it because would rather wait till it was,
Do it right as opposed to, I mean, right now, I mean,
yeah.
the cheapest way is gonna pulverize it and re-blacktop it.
Yeah, so, it's not complete yet, it's not done, it may happen, but I hope it does happen, but,
And that's gonna be a little bit down the road anyway,
I
isn't
think
it?
so, yeah, I think
Okay.
it'll be, but the grants there, they just have, I don't know how long they have to utilize it. I talked to them about, a couple weeks ago again on the project, so, if something happens, I'll keep you informed, so, that's all I have.
I don't have anything today.
Yeah, I was just wondering, with that purple trail we approved for the purple trail, did we ever get a sign to put up for that?
Me and Bart just talked about this week, I asked him, and, he likes the ones Richmond has, he's gonna
I
plan
know.
on.
Oh, you're talking about Purple
So he's
Heart.
gonna, he told me he was gonna order it last week, so I hope I did, cause I was kinda on him like, let's finish this,
Yeah,
put all the
yeah, I
stuff
saw they
away.
had yours, and I thought, we didn't finish, good. And that's all I have, looking forward to the festival.
I don't have anything.
I have nothing, motion to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned.
Kurt.